Boruto Uzumaki has finally done it. For the first time in 3 years, that Karma Seal is back, but this time it isn't just him fighting. Instead, he's in a situation where the Karma Seal is fully obeying him, because there are power-ups and then there are moments in the story where it has you as a reader holding your breath. Boruto activating the Karma against Mamushi is not just a callback. It isn't just about nostalgia. And it sure as hell is not about basic Karma fan service. This is the first time since Boruto got that scar over his eye. The first time since that eye was sealed shut. The first time since Momoshiki came dangerously close to taking Boruto's body when Boruto is at full power, that Boruto is now using the Karma in battle by choice. Not through resonance, not with Kawaki nearby. Even when Kawaki himself didn't reawaken the Karma Seal, he still had the DNA. He was in close proximity when Boruto fought Code. There was no panic takeover. It was just Boruto and the full weight of an Ōtsutsuki power that seemingly is about to be unleashed in the upcoming chapter. And if the story plays this right, Boruto versus Mamushi isn't just about the Karma Seal being used again. It should also be about why Boruto is now capable of potentially using Momoshiki's full attack power at full throttle, because if Boruto only uses the basic Karma Seal Ampere, then this moment, dare I say, is incomplete. So join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video where your OBC, your original Boruto chief, is going to be breaking down why Boruto should be written using the full power of his Karma Seal, what makes this moment so fundamentally different than anything we've seen Boruto do previously, and why that Momoshiki deal a few chapters ago changes everything, and why even if the story delays Boruto opening his eye and using the dojutsu hidden behind it, the payoff, it will still be worth it. Also, over on the Naruto Explained Teespring, it has the new OBC merchandise up for sale with a 15% off promo code OBC2 that is good until the start of the new year. We got multiple colors, from blue and white, which are the Naruto Explained colors, orange and black, which are the Naruto Uzumaki colors, pink and black, which are the Boruto Uzumaki colors, and a combination of orange and black and pink and black to put Naruto and Boruto together, which is how this community should be and not at civil war with one another. The design has the 6 past Magatamas around the outside of the letters, the Naruto Explained logo at the bottom, and the inside letters, you'll see OBC, and you have some really cool Easter eggs there, like the screw inside the letters being the screw that Boruto's character wears as a necklace, which was meant to pay homage to Neji, since Neji's name is a pun on screw, and Boruto was named after Neji with a pun on a hex screw bolt, which is why in the official Boruto logo, you see that hex screw bolt for any Boruto merchandise that you purchase. If you buy the merchandise and you want to be featured in the video, email me on my business email like my guy Trey literally just did, wearing that "When We Were Singon We Win" t-shirt. Big shouts out to Trey for supporting the channel for the last 2 years. And the same with my patron, Fantastic Bruiser, who's been one of the OG patrons for a long time, who wore the "When We Were Singon We Win" hoodie. So this Karma Seal activation we're getting right now, it's different. So let's just get that straight right away. This is not the same when Boruto used Karma before. This is not the same Karma Seal that you saw Boruto use when you had the whole Isshiki stuff going on. It's definitely not the same unstable true essence version that Boruto used against Code, because every single time that Boruto used Karma before, there was one thing that was kind of clear. Boruto was basically doing it on a fluke, or there was Karma resonance, or he was in the presence of an Ōtsutsuki. Momoshiki that entire time was watching, calculating, and preparing to strike the moment that Boruto, his chakra ran too weak, or his mental chakra was in flux enough that he was able to hijack. That's what made Karma so terrifying, not just for Boruto's enemies, but also for Boruto himself. At any given moment, Momoshiki could hijack. Even Boruto said it himself in chapter 15 of Two Blue Vortex. Just cutting on the Karma was enough that Momoshiki almost could have taken over before. But Mamushi has now changed that entire equation. Why? Because Boruto is now activating Karma, and there's no Ōtsutsuki, there's no Kawaki anywhere near him. There's no resonance. There's no feedback loop. There's no emotional trigger. This was not a fluke either. This is Boruto consciously choosing to use karma, fully aware of all the consequences and doing it anyway. That alone tells us something massive. Boruto no longer fears karma the way that he used to, and that fear was the last chain holding him back. That Momoshiki deal absolutely changed everything. That's the most important detail of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, and it's easy to overlook because that moment did not happen in a fight. It was a conversation. Boruto didn't defeat Momoshiki. He didn't seal him away. He instead negotiated with him. Boruto made a deal that rewrites how karma basically should function narratively. Momoshiki at the end of the day will get Boruto's body, but only after Jura is defeated. That condition, it is everything. Because for the first time ever, Momoshiki has a reason to not interfere and to wait. If Momoshiki were to hijack Boruto's body early, you could argue he might be potentially breaking that deal. If Jura remains alive, Momoshiki doesn't get what he wants. He has a reason to work with Boruto. This creates something that Boruto Uzumaki has never had before. A window of trust, not emotional trust, but instead mutual self-interest. There's almost a poetic level of mutually assured destruction between Boruto and Momoshiki here. And that's what might potentially allow Boruto to access the full power that he never touched willingly. Remember that code fight? When Boruto used True Essence of Karma, it was impressive. He definitely got stronger. But the moment that Momoshiki took over, we saw a completely different level of speed, lethality, instinct, and just overall combat power. That wasn't Boruto fighting with karma. That was Momoshiki unleashed. And now, Boruto, he doesn't have a need to suppress that power anymore. Instead, he has a conduit to use it, and he just needs to direct it now. But that also brings me to why the basic karma seal, that's not going to be enough here in my opinion. So let's be honest here. Seeing the karma seal is cool. It was really, really cool. But if Boruto versus Mamushi only gives us a chakra boost and stat boost and chakra absorption and the usual karma glow up, then I'm going to say that that moment has a potential of falling short. Because Mamushi's not a nostalgia villain. Mamushi is a clone-based threat, a threat above Jigen, a relentless pursuer, a character designed to swarm, overwhelm, not necessarily outmuscle. This fight, it requires escalation. And narratively, this means the moment is perfect right now to show that Boruto can access Momoshiki's full battle instincts without losing himself. That means more creative ways of using the jutsu that Boruto has. Faster reaction speed than ever before, ruthless efficiency without any type of cruelty, tactical dominance rather than raw rage. Boruto using full karma here. It wouldn't just be about spectacle. Instead, it would be about proof. Proof that Boruto has finally crossed the line from being a vessel struggling for control to a true Ōtsutsuki warrior on borrowed time, a prodigy who made a deal with the devil. Mamushi forcing this power out of Boruto, I think it would make perfect sense. I think you need to see this before you see anything with Jura. He isn't strong enough to beat Boruto outright. I don't think that anyone thinks Mamushi wins a one-on-one fight. He's dangerous enough that he should be able to push Boruto past restraint. And that's exactly the type of villain you need in order to justify a transformation like this. I will use another Dragon Ball reference. He's basically filling the role that Frieza did with Son Goku. When Goku went Super Saiyan, in the manga, it was clear that Goku was stronger, but Frieza was strong enough that Goku couldn't hold back during that fight. It's kind of the same thing here. It's basically saying you got to be on your P's and Q's here. And that brings me to the ultimate missing piece, Momoshiki's dojutsu. So there is one visual moment that the story has been saving. Boruto opening his Ōtsutsuki eye. Whether you want to say it's Jogan, whether you want to say it's Byakugan, I see both arguments. After all, Chapter 1 and Episode 1 of Boruto, it is in the flash forward sequence, panel by panel, dialogue by dialogue, frame by frame, the exact same thing. The black sclera in the back of the eye was added to the anime version. Not going to get into the Joganus argument, but I do see both sides of it. But here's the thing, Boruto opening his Ōtsutsuki eye. Right now, Boruto stands alone in one key way, and that eye, I would argue, is needed. Because he is the only Ōtsutsuki vessel that has never used his Ōtsutsuki's dojutsu. Jigen used Isshiki's kokugan. Kawaki used Isshiki's kokugan. But Boruto, he's never used Momoshiki's Rinnegan or Momoshiki's Byakugan. And against Mamushi, that eye, when you think about it, would be very devastating. An Ōtsutsuki Byakugan, for instance, will allow Boruto to track every Mamushi clone simultaneously, see the chakra pathways and all the weak points, detect movements from hundreds of meters away, fight without having to rely on a physical line of sight. But if you look at what the story's done, it's got Inojin with that new jutsu, part of why I don't think we'll see the Byakugan eye, because Inojin's jutsu basically does everything that a Byakugan would do for Boruto in this scenario. Inojin's jutsu directly locates Mamushi. Mamushi's entire combat style, though, when you really think about it, it would collapse under a Byakugan surveillance, which raises the question for the story. Why hasn't the story potentially pulled the trigger on it yet? The answer is simple, because some moments are too important to rush. And that brings me to a concept that I've been talking about ever since I began reviewing Boruto's manga in 2018, which is the need for delayed payoff. And this is a situation that definitely is building towards a delayed payoff. So that flash forward promise that we have, it's coming. There's a reason why Kawaki looks so shocked in the flash forward sequence. Not angry, not determined, shocked. The reaction only makes sense if Boruto's revealing something that Kawaki's never seen before, and that something was Boruto opening his Ōtsutsuki eye. From that one reaction, we can gather Boruto has never used it prior to this, at least in Kawaki's presence at that point in time. As an author, it's very important to understand the concept of restraint, as well as to understand when it's best to just give away the goods. This is a situation of the former, not the latter. By letting Boruto use Karma full power right now, but saving the visual reveal of the Byakugan for later, it would allow the story to have the best of both worlds. Immediate payoff for long-term fans where you get to see Boruto using full power Karma, but saving the visual reveal for that Ōtsutsuki dojutsu for a later point in time. It also gives you sustained tension for that end game, assuming Boruto versus Kawaki is that final battle. A transformation that feels earned, not necessarily rushed. Boruto versus Mamushi, it doesn't need the eye opening to be powerful. Instead, it just needs Boruto in control. It needs a layer of growing dominance. It needs Boruto showing that he can walk the edge of damnation without falling. And when that eye finally opens up, when Boruto stands aside from Kawaki as a true equal Ōtsutsuki, since they're both Ōtsutsuki genetically 100%, the moment it's going to hit a lot harder because the story waited. Delayed payoff. Delayed payoff isn't hesitation. Instead, it is confidence. And Boruto activating Karma at full power against Mamushi, that's the first step toward proving that the boy who once feared his own strength has now finally truly learned to wield it, not as a weapon, not as a sentence, but instead as fully embracing what he is, an Ōtsutsuki. A shinobi, but still an Ōtsutsuki. Because once Jura falls, that bill is going to come due. And when Momoshiki does finally come to collect, the world may finally realize too late. Boruto didn't just inherit an Ōtsutsuki's power, he mastered it, and that's going to set up for another Boruto and Momoshiki interaction, one that I personally can't wait for. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, clicking here on the left to check out episode 3 of the Naruto Network series, where we break down how rich Tsunade is, or click here on the right to check out the new Spy Family video from my Anime Explained channel, where I talk about non-Naruto anime.